From the start of the course, technology has played a large role and has had its many uses and also the occasional disadvantage. Blogger allows us to upload and edit posts from both school and home, enabling all kinds of media formats, including text, photos, and videos. We can also embed videos, sound files, presentations, and so forth, and upload them too, broadening the range of various different media devices we use to present our work, a very useful medium. During planning, I use many online programs such as SoundCloud to record voiceovers, Vimeo to embed videos I recorded onto my blog, SlideShare for uploading presentations and once again embedding, Blogger's built-in post and drive to type out documents, place pictures in, and analyse various different films. Exam Time was useful for clarifying genre, themes, and devices through animated film analysis mind maps. Padlet once again was used for this. Microsoft PowerPoint to make mood boards using pictures as examples for conventions of film noirs. We used Tumblr for our film website too. Prezi for smooth presentations, and finally Final Cut Pro X to produce the final film and also for my evaluation videos. I could upload the movies from Final Cut Pro directly to YouTube and embed the video onto my blog, which actually saved a lot of time. As a group, we quickly became aware of the importance of social media. We quickly made a Facebook group chat where we could talk about dates, keep each other in the loop, and also plan things out, such as days and times for filming and meeting points. It was also a very useful device with regards to preparation, as we could inform whoever had the camera the night before to charge it, so that we could get maximum filming time possible the next day, and decide what costumes to bring and what props to pack. It was a great useful way of communicating with one another, as some of us had work commitments and other A-level subjects to attend to. We also could post various different messages in the group chat. For instance, I posted our photos from our photo shoot for our poster and the initial ideas for our GSD media production logo. They were also discussed in the group chat. I use Blogger a lot to annotate work and upload posts with both text and images in. For my poster, I use PaintShop Pro, which is a program used to edit different photos. I knew very little about it, but on the minimal knowledge I already had about it, I used the program as opposed to learning a whole new one from scratch, as this saved time. I found the Flood Fill tool and Magic Wand tool very useful, as I could quickly select and fill in large areas of the picture I either wanted to keep or change. I also used the colour palette to adjust different colours and fine-tune parts of the poster to match the rest. The image adjustment tab was good, as I could quickly and easily adjust the hue, saturation and brightness of any image to get it exactly how I wanted it. Also the illumination tool. This was useful as it adds depth and texture, as you can choose point sources of light and control the spread and the beam of them across the page. For the making of our film, we used the school's Nikon D3100 camera to film, as none of us had a suitable camera ourselves. At first, it took a little bit of time to get used to the DSLR camera and its functions, as none of us had much experience using it before. However, it was soon sorted and we picked up how to use the camera fairly quickly. We also used the tripod to film too. We had only a couple of issues with the camera. The fact that the camera only had a limited zoom function, we had to rethink or think about the initial placement of the camera before we shot all the footage. When it came to editing, after piecing all of our footage together, I wrote out voiceovers for the respective characters. They were to fill the gaps over the top of the footage where there was no sound. For instance, the argument scene and the scene at the pub. I used the built-in voiceover recorder from Final Cut Pro for this, and then adjusted the EQ to make the voices sound less harsh. We did have to wait until the classroom was empty, however, to record these, because the background noise would be picked up by the microphone and distract the audience. I edited the film on Final Cut Pro X and was used to using this program. This meant that I could edit quickly, and the editing process only took about a day's total time, but done in different times, not all at once. It has a simplistic layout and is easy enough to get precision editing correct. By using the precision editor in the timeline, I could zoom in on specific shots, groups of footage, or sound files to get transition, cuts, or sound bridges accurate and stable. The credits tool was a good feature and enabled us to put in text as credits, titles, and on-screen credits at the start over the footage. The filters available were extensive, but they were all too harsh in my opinion. This led to me manually adjusting the colours of the footage instead of using the filters, resulting in my opinion, scenes that were coloured and lit more appropriately to achieve the moods that we were after. The biggest task during the editing process was getting the conversation scenes quick, snappy, and realistic. This proved to be slightly more difficult than I'd thought initially, as this was an area where I'd had little prior experience, as our horror film had no dialogue in it at AS level. In the graveyard scene, just before the protagonist gets shot, we purposefully broke the 180-degree rule, removing visual punctuation from the conversation as we wanted to slightly disorientate the audience just before the protagonist gets killed off. We wanted to make the conversation flow as if it were to happen in real life, so a lot of the time was spent on adjusting these shots during the edit. The fact that you can unclip the audio from the footage and have it separate in the editing timeline is good, as additional reaction shots or scenery can be inserted into the continuous dialogue. This enables the audience, for instance, to see facial expressions in response to the dialogue. This also helped to make the conversation scenes flow, as it made it less flat and manufactured. The blade tool enabled me to cut out unwanted footage, silences, and dialogue quickly and effectively, speeding up the whole process. Luckily, because of my experience using Final Cut Pro, I was able to use the speedy keyboard shortcuts. This enabled me to navigate around the timeline quickly and instantly flick between different editing tools, which sped up the editing process significantly. Unlike Final Cut Express, the rendering process wasn't a long wait. The footage rendered as it went along instead of having to wait around for long periods of time for the whole clip to render before you can even start. Overall, my editing skills have vastly improved as I learnt new tricks in Final Cut Pro. This made the editing process quick and improved my confidence, and I will undoubtedly use these new tricks in future edits. There is a clear difference between the quality of editing looking back at our preliminary task at the start of the year and comparing it to our film noir. In terms of evaluating the actual film, we showed our film to many different people and posted it to YouTube. We also used social media sites such as Facebook to advertise and market our film Lockdown. We could also obtain various different comments and feedback from these websites and posting the videos online. Blogger is an especially good device for presenting all of my work, as it supports many different forms of presentation and is easy to use and has a simple layout. In general, I am happy with the end result, and I feel that my knowledge and use of technology has improved greatly over the duration of the course, and in comparison to my AS work.